And now, for the continuation of my report, let's talk about structuring treatment in DBT. Alright, ngayon, paano ba nakastructure ang buong treatment sa DBT? So, DBT isn't just one-on-one therapy lang. May system siya na organized para mas holistic ang approach sa pagpapagaling ng client. So, may 4 na main components tayo dito. Unang-una, individual therapy. Pangalawa, skills training group. Pangatlo, telephone consultation. At pang-apat, therapist consultation team. Lahat ng yan may kanya-kanyang role, pero interconnected sila. Parang isang cycle na nagtutulungan para masuportahan ang client at pati na rin ang therapist. Kaya nga ang goal ng structure na ito ay simple pero powerful. Matutulungan ang client in real life, long term, and as a whole person. So may 5 core functions ang DBT treatment. So now let's talk about that one. Ito yung foundation kung bakit nakaayos ng ganito ang DBT. So unang-una, building skills. Tinuturuan ng ang clients ng mga bagong paraan to respond to emotions and situations para hindi balik ulit sa destructive behaviors. Pangalawa, increase motivation. So, hindi lang basta attendance ang mahalaga. Dapat may motivation to grow and change. So, dito na pumapasok ang validation at reinforcement ng positive behaviors. Pangatlo, apply skills in real life. So, kailangan matranslate sa totoong buhay yung natutunan nila. Kasi kung sa session lang magaling pero wala sa labas, sayang. So, pang-apat, support therapist. Yes, pati therapist kailangan ng support system. So, alam natin na napakahirap ng work na to. Kaya may consultation team to keep them grounded and skilled. And panghuli, shape the environment. So, hindi lang individual ang binabago natin. Pati yung environment ng client, dapat supportive siya. So, minsan, may coordination pa sa family ng client or sa school or sa workmates nito. Now, let's move on to the modes of DBT treatment. So, paano ba natin ini-implement ang mga functions na yan? So, through different modes of treatment. So, each mode may specific goal. Kaya hindi siya one size fits all. Parang toolbox. Depende sa need ng client. May tool tayong pwedeng gamitin. So, here are the main modes. Unang-una, gaya ng sabi ko kanina, individual therapy para sa personal needs at goals ng client. Pangalawa, skills training group, parang class na nagtuturo ng core DBT skills. Pangatlo, telephone consultation para sa real life immediate coaching kapag kailangan. And pang-apat, therapist consultation team para masuportahan ang mga therapist mismo. So, ang maganda dito, bawat mode ay may purpose. Minagtatagpi-tagpi sila para mas effective ang buong process. Sa first mode, unahin natin ang individual therapy and DBT. So, ito ang traditional one-on-one na therapy session. Usually, weekly siya. Mga 50 to 90 minutes. Pero mas madalas kung may crisis. So, ang focus ng session ay depende kung anong stage ng DBT ang client. Pero laging priority ang una, life-threatening behaviors. Pangalawa, therapy-interfering behaviors. Pangatlo, quality of life issues. So, gumagamit din tayo ng diary cards, parang mini journal na sinusulatan ng client para makita ang patterns ng behaviors and emotions. Ito ang guide ng session. So, ang pinaka-importante, may balance between change and acceptance. So, hindi lang puro problem solving, kailangan din may validation na nauunawaan mo kung saan nanggagaling ang client. Next, we have the skills training group. So, hindi ito group therapy ha. Classroom-style setup siya, kung saan itinuturo ang 4 na core DBT skills. Yung mindfulness, distress tolerance, emotion regulation, and interpersonal effectiveness. So usually weekly rin ito, mga 2 to 2.5 hours at tumatagal ng 6 to 12 months. So dalawang therapists ang nagli-lead. Isa ang nagtuturo, isa ang nagmamanage ng group dynamics. So ang pinaka-important note dito is hindi pwedeng stand-alone ito. Kailangan may individual therapist pa rin ang bawat participants. So, next, para maging effective ang skills group, kailangan may group rules at structure. So, may tatlong level ng behavioral priorities. Unang-una yung disruptions. Pag may behavior na nakakasira sa grupo, ito yung unang ina-address, pero kung mild lang, usually di mo na pinapansin unless grabe na talaga. Pangalawa, homework and skills use. Kung hindi ginagawa ng client ang homework o hindi ginagamit ang skills, ito ang next na focus kasi hindi matututo kung walang practice. And pangatlo, and lastly, general engagement. Tulad ng pag-attend ng session, pakikipag-cooperate, pagiging present mentally and emotionally. At tandaan natin, kung may suicide risk, hindi ito pinaprocess sa grupo. Pinapasa ito sa individual therapist para ma-handle ng maayos. So, ang goal ng rules na ito, safety, respect, and learning. Walang shame, pero may accountability. So, overall, DBT works best kapag lahat ng treatment modes nagtutulungan. Hindi mo makukuha ang buong benefit kung isa lang ang ginagamit. Kaya ang mga therapists kailangan din mag-adjust depende sa stage, context, at needs ng client. Hindi rigid ang DBT, flexible siya, pero structured pa rin. At ang effective na DBT ay yung nagtuturo ng tamang skills, nagmo-motivate na magbago, nagsusupport ng therapist at nakikiayon sa environment ng client. Parang puzzle pieces na binubuo ang buong pictures. So, when everything fits together, doon natin makikita ang real progress. So next, pag-usapan naman natin ang isa sa pinakakakaibang feature ng DBT, ang telephone coaching o ito yung tinatawag nilang phone consultation. Pero take note ha, hindi ito full therapy session. Ang purpose lang talaga nito ay para masuportahan agad si client when they need it the most. Parang lifeline ito between sessions. Kasi nga naman, hindi mo mapipili kung kailan ka mahihirapan, di ba? So, in cases na parang nararamdaman nila na biglang nag-emerge yung too much emotions nila, dito na pumapasok yung telephone consultation. Parang binibigyan natin sila ng way ng makakausap in times that they needed it the most. Now, lilipat tayo sa backstage ng DBT, ang consultation team para sa mga therapist. Kasi kahit trained experience sa mga therapist, tao rin sila. Napapagod, nadidrain, o minsan nahihirapan din. Kaya may sariling support system ang mga DBT therapist. Tulad din ng clients, committed din sila sa growth at accountability. In short, sila ang team na sumasalo sa therapist para makapagsalo naman ang therapist sa client. So now, let's talk about something called ancillary care. So this is when the therapist step outside the therapy room to help with real-world problems. Now, this doesn't happen all the time. It's only done when it really matters. Like, for example, first, if the client literally cannot help themselves and situation is serious. Or maybe a family member refuses to talk to the client and will only listen to the therapist. Also, if someone's life is at risk, it's no-brainer. The therapist gets involved. They also step in if helping out won't cause harm and it's clearly the right thing to do. And lastly, if the client is a minor, of course, there is more responsibility involved. What makes a good DBT therapist? It's all about balance. They need to be warm and accepting, but also push for change. They should be confident but open to adjusting their approach. And while they show care, they also have to challenge the client sometimes. Above all, a good DBT therapist never judges and always believes that the client can improve themselves. How do we solve problems in DBT? So, in problem solving in DBT, there are two stages. The stage one is understanding the problem. So we look at what triggers it, what keeps it going, and use chain analysis to break it all down. For the stage 2, we create change. And that's where we brainstorm solutions, teach skills, and motivate the clients to take action. So now when there's a problem, DBT teaches 5 options for the solution analysis in DBT. First is solve the problem. Next, change how you feel about it. Third, accept or tolerate it. Fourth, stay miserable, which some people do. And fifth, or make it worse, which we obviously don't recommend. So the goal is to pick the option that's actually helpful in the long run. And with that, we've reached the end of our DBT journey. From the self-awareness to skills to the relationship, DBT is a toolkit for life. At ang pinaka-importante, naniniwala ang DBT na kaya mong magbago. Hindi ka nag-iisa. May mga tools, may mga support, at may pag-asa. Kaya kung may kilala kang struggling o ikaw mismo, tandaan mo, help exists. Healing is possible and growth is real. So maraming salamat po sa pakikinig. This ends my report. Once again, I am Eliza Simple. Thank you so much.